What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here at About Trout, I do fly fishing how-tos, gear reviews, fly tying tutorials, and we just have a good time because fly fishing is too important to take seriously. My desk has exploded. I'm procrastinating tying all the flies I need for tomorrow's trip, but that is neither here nor there. I am here, you are there, and we're in this beautiful moment together. What we're going to do today is something a little bit different. I had the great pleasure of sitting down with guide, author, and speaker Duane Redford. Duane was out of the Vail Valley for a while, and he has recently moved to Western Colorado. He's been a guide for many, many years and has a lot of wonderful insights into the profession and some great ideas about trout fishing as well. So huge shout out to Duane. It was an absolute joy sitting down with him and kind of, keeping it relaxed, maybe doing something a little bit different on this channel. But what I want to do is kind of peel back that curtain and just kind of show, fishing guides in a relaxed setting. And you can stick around for the end. Ben Sittig, the huge fly fisherman, has some great questions that he peppers in at the end of the interview. So again, huge shout out to Duane. I'll leave his contact information, how you can book him, his links to his books, all in the description here. And before we dive into the video, I just want to share a little anecdote with you. The year was 2011. I was a 21-year-old with a passion for filmmaking. But instead of doing my studies, which is probably why I became a fishing guide, I decided to fly my Star Fox fighter jet to the fourth planet of the Lilac system, because that was really important. Well, I guess what was also really important was learning how to light a set. And the next day in class, Professor Henshaw had asked me about key lights and fill lights and blocking, which I knew none of, but I just answered anyway. I failed miserably. And 10 years later, I guess I'm still learning that. So I apologize for the lighting situation. We're going to clean that up in these future interviews, but it was really a blast. It was super fun to do. I hope to do more of these for the channel, and I hope you guys enjoy, something new here at About Trout. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, what's going on, everybody? This is going to be something new for the channel. What I really want to do is just have conversations with other guides around the US. This is the first one. I think I'm going to call it Guidelines. Ha ha ha. I'm a dad, right? Come on, that's funny. But I'm here with Duane Redford, and we're just gonna have a conversation, maybe drink a beer or 17, and see where this goes. So, you want to introduce yourself, Duane?
Yeah, I'm Duane Redford. I guide predominantly out of the Vail Valley in Colorado. Excuse me, I've been guiding a long time. I don't even really know how many years, to be honest with you. It's just one after the other. I've written a few books. Been on the speaking circuit. Now I'm down to about 4 days a week guiding. There's nothing better. There's nothing better than guidelines. A guide's life. Really enjoy it.
Oh, I like that. Well, let's just open it up, loosey goose. What's your craziest client story?
Oh, geez, I've got so many. All right, I'll tell you the craziest one.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I've never had anything remotely that close. Remotely that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to either. But so, how did you get your start fishing, and how did you fall in love, with the sport?
Yeah, I grew up in Arizona. We fished the streams and lakes in Arizona. My dad put a fly rod in my hand when I was 9 years old. It was an old 7-foot, whatever weight, Fenwick. I mean, they all felt like, 3 weights back then, and they were heavier than a broomstick. And I had an old Perrine electric reel. The kind you would strip the line off and it had a little button, you'd push it and it would retrieve line. So that's how I started. And my dad and I joined the Tucson Fly Fishing Club, believe it or not. Now I think it's called Old Pueblo Fly Fishing Club. I've actually spoken there. And I learned how to tie then. And basically, if I'm going to go for a hike, I'm taking a fly rod along with me. It's just, he instilled that passion in me, and it stayed with me all these years. People ask, and I know you're a guide, they say, well, aren't you tired of it? And it's like, are you kidding? So you do 50 days in a row and you get a day off. What do? You
go fish.
You go fish. So it's just it's in your DNA.
Absolutely. I take Sundays off just so I have one day with my family, because after, sometimes you do those 30, 40-day bangers and suddenly I'm not, Mr. Friendly anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
But no, I'm with you. That's why I'm up here fishing with some friends. Shout out Mike Rudder. Shout out I don't know, some huge guy. We're not going to mention him.
No.
But, well, awesome. Well, I appreciate that. I know you're a big fan of Euro nymphing, as am I. Why do you think that's becoming, maybe people are sick of the Euro thing here. It's here to stay, for a lot of reasons. But I know you incorporate that into your guiding, but why do you think it's gaining so much popularity and here to stay?
I've got a lot of history in the sport. So when I began fly fishing, we didn't use an indicator. We watched the end of our fly line, the butt section, to see if we were getting an eat or not. And so we had very short, concise drifts. Then, you move to indicators, and then, you've got the dry fly, and you've got the dry dropper, and you've got streamers. And so, for me personally, it's the next step in my evolution, although it's a lot simpler than some of the other techniques, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So I think people are always looking for the next thing.
Right.
And it works.
Yeah. No.
I mean, you just can't argue with the success, and it's fun. And I started, I'm not by any means an expert. I do guide folks that want to learn how to Euro. But I just love I started 3 years ago, maybe 4 years now, and I just love the simplicity of it. I look at everything, all those disciplines within fly fishing that make you that much better as a guide and as a fly fisher. As you go through the progression in your life as far as your talents and your skills in fly fishing, for me it was the next step. I enjoy it. I know you really enjoy it as well.
No, absolutely. What you said, it's simple, but it's not. I think it's easy to learn. I think it's hard to become a master.
Yeah.
And it's the technical rigging. It's those little micro adjustments that have huge impacts. I mean, like, I can nerd out on this. I mean, like 5 to 6x, there's a 27% surface differential. I mean, those drag forces, can have a huge impact on your presentation. And I think a lot of people want to look at it as a silver bullet, but I think it's anything but a silver bullet. You have to be very dedicated. I think you can get away with more slop, right? There's no mending. You don't really have to cast unless you're trying to throw dry flies and things like that. But you got to make that rig work for you. And I think, you're not just going to start Euro nymphing and catch more fish unless you're blowing up stockers. There's always that. There's when in doubt, stock trout it out. That's a pro tip. You heard it here first.
Yeah, pink beads.
Pink beads. But I know you have been in the business for a long time, and I think we could probably all agree that social media has probably done more damage for the sport. But do you think there's anything positive that's come out of Insta culture or social media in general?
Wow, that is a tough question.
That's what I'm here to do.
You caught me, yeah. Certainly, the social media thing, bringing people together, is one thing. I mean, where it's morphed to today, I'm not a happy camper, but you can still get a message out through social media. And at least a couple times a year, I'll post something just talking about reds,
right? Or
just talking about etiquette. Give them the bend and a straight, and go find your own water. That stuff like that. So that's that positive side. Right. That's the positive side, and that's all I got to say about that.
I'm with you. I mean, I think one thing that people, especially newer anglers, don't understand is that big fish are where big fish are, and fly fishing, it's not like golf or skateboarding or gymnastics. You can go to places where there's bigger fish to catch bigger fish. I'm from the East Coast, so back east, a 15-inch trout can be a big trout.
Sure.
No one cares about that out here in the West, in the Rockies. I mean, I care, but you know what I'm saying.
I do.
If you're trying to get CBD sponsorship deals and clout chase, as the kids say, you want to go where big fish are, right? These tailwaters, excuse me, stock, these stock places, these pellet pig ranches.
Right.
I mean, it's just, yeah, it's this kind of artificial world where you can be given, not so much earned. Like when I was little, we didn't have, we didn't have the internet, it was just coming out. We didn't have the social media that we do today. And I'm reading books from 30, 40 years ago as a kid, and it's a whole different landscape today.
Completely.
I mean, dovetailing off that, when I was a kid, I've always wanted to be a fishing guide, and I agree with you. It is absolutely the best job in the world. It's still work. It's very much work, and I think if you take the profession seriously, especially, you're always trying to get better. You're always trying to figure out a way to make your river interesting, because we're out there every day, and so it's you want to be able to keep it fun, keep it fresh, and keep innovating and staying up with the newer techniques and kind of where the sport's going. But it seemed like when I was a kid, like being a fishing guide meant something, and I don't know if it's now it's just something to do. Like you're not tossing pizzas, and so you're a fishing guide, and you're not doing this, so it's just something that I do. How have you seen guide culture change from? I know you teach a guide school as well. We can talk about that, but how have you seen the culture of guiding change since you have been a guide?
There is a negative perception on guides now, and I think, well, I'll just put it to you this way. So let's say I've got a couple of my clients and we're walking through the willows and we can't see the river, right? We've looked up, but we can't see anybody. We pop out of the willows and there's a guy in the run.
Right.
He immediately knows, here I am with the big net, and immediately his whole tenor and temper changes. He's angry. It's like, dang guides, another dang guide. So I see that side of it. Also, you talk about social media again.
Right.
Everybody's a guide. So I've known guides over the years, and I'm certainly not going to name names, that do one or two trips.
Right.
Or I've known guides that got hired because they had a huge Instagram following and couldn't catch a fish out of a canoe. So yeah, there's that. But I'm trying to stay positive on this, and to me it's still got to be the messaging. It's still got to be the messaging that we can get out to people.
Let it flow. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, there's a lot of two-trip Tims walking around out there.
Two-trip Tim.
Yeah, or like a two-season Ted. There's, especially where I guide on the Juan, there's a big age gap. Like, so there's I'm probably one of the younger guides, and the Juan is, a lot of incredible guides out there that we share the same river. But you can guide the San Juan until you're in your 60s because you're rowing a drift boat. It's easier on your body. But it is interesting. The guiding can kind of beat down and weed out. Some of the people that pop out.
Like I tell my newbie guides, one of the first things I tell them is, there's 1 million first-year guides. There's a handful of second-year guides, because it weeds them out real fast. I mean, they look at it as this glorious thing. It is glorious this time of the year,
right?
When you sit back and look at it. But when you're in the grind, I used to do 285, 290 trips a year. Yeah. And you pick your head up. Well, I remember picking my head up after 108 days straight.
You're an animal.
And we're stupid. And it was like 5 in the morning. I got up. I had a day off. I just got up. And I was out eating breakfast. My wife came out and she's like, it's nice you got a day off. What do you want to do today? And I just looked at her and she goes, okay, we'll go fish.
Yeah.
But that goes back to that DNA thing. But it's that grind, and you look up and you're like, wow, I'm getting through this. I'm in October and I'm still alive.
Right.
I'm mad.
Right, the brotherhood of suffering, sisterhood of suffering, that there's a lot of awesome female guides too. But no, I mean, I think that's something important that what you just talked about, 108 days. Like, I had a buddy that did 94 straight, and I'm just like, I don't even know how that's possible. 108's nuts, and I don't think people understand what it is to be a guide, because it's still work. You still you show up on time, you take it seriously. It's not all big fish pictures and sponsor codes in your bios, but What's one thing that you think people don't really understand when they shake your hand in the morning, or that you maybe wish people knew about the other side of guiding, right? The back end stuff that maybe clients don't really.
Well, they don't understand that, and I'm not complaining at all.
Oh, of course, no, that's not.
They don't understand that, I was up till 11 o'clock last night with my headlamp on, tying up your rigs,
Right.
Behind my truck. They don't understand that I actually researched the area we are geographically, birds, mammals, everything that might be unique about that area, so I can infuse that into our day. That's just the small things that I don't think they get right off the top, but it certainly comes through, when we get on the river and we're having a blast. I mean, to me, every day is special. I'm going to find something good in every day. Even if the fish have gone vegetarian, it's like, we're going to work for them. What they don't know is I want them to catch fish more than they want to catch fish. I guarantee it. It's like one more cast.
Yes.
And how many times have you had that one more cast and you nail that fish of the day? You turn that nice 16-inch rainbow. One more cast.
I'm with you. I like that's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's crazy that I still can't get over 108 days. Right? That's the caffeine and nicotine must have been keeping you.
It was Copenhagen.
Yeah,
it got me through that.
We're all on Zyn now. That's like it's like the cryptocurrency on the River Eye Guide. Like if you can trade other guys Zyn for flies. It's tobacco-less nicotine. So it's a little pouch you can use a lip in.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. You might like it, you might hate it, but I have a tobacco. I can bring this up. We're raw. I mean, I like I like tobacco. I try to keep it to a minimum, but yeah, I'm not gonna. I try to keep the flights non-smoking. But yeah, I'll throw his in and keeps me laser focused.
Well, I got to tell you, I smoke a pipe.
Okay.
And all my clients know that the pipe smoke doesn't start burning until everybody's hooked up, put one in the bag.
Yeah.
And so they'll start yelling at each other. Let's go, land this thing,
Right.
We want to smell it. Because
Yeah.
I usually smoke some sort of cherry blend.
Ooh.
And yeah, so that's my deal. I got through with Copenhagen and pipe and, I don't know, gallons of coffee.
Coffee, yeah. I'm on energy drinks, which I'm sure is destroying my body from the inside out. But I'm young, I'm dumb, I'm having fun. We'll see where this goes. But no, I really appreciate your time. I mean, I think we covered. Is there anything specific you want to talk about? Get off your chest. I know. I definitely want to save some time for you to plug your guide service and your books.
Oh, sure.
But, anything specific that you want to dive right into?
No, not really. My big thing is just taking care of the resource that we have, taking care of these fish. I have a picture of a brown trout from 2 winters ago, and I put this in one of my presentations. You can see the perfect handprint on the fish. And this was probably February, maybe early March. And so that fish was handled with a glove. And it's things like that the resource is really why I do this. I love matching wits. To me, it's I'm stalking fish. It's just like hunting with a traditional bow to me. Just getting into their zone, putting those flies on a collision course. But it all comes down to the resource and protecting those beautiful resources that we have.
So yeah, kind of hard to fly fish if you don't have trout, right? So
that's it.
But yeah, there's been a big push. I guess one of maybe the positive things from social media, to your point with glove prints, is there's kind of been this huge anti-tailing glove movement. Take your gloves off in the winter if you're going to hold fish. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. But that's one positive. I mean, It's, I mean, have I used a tailing glove? You heard it here first. I did. It was in the Great Lakes tributaries, and I posted a picture on the Drake forums, and I got absolutely flamed. And, and I learned. I became a man that day. I stopped using a tailing glove. But no, I think, Duane, I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
I think we covered some points, and, this is a newer thing that I'm going to try to do for the channel, and thank you for being the guinea pig, if you will.
Yeah.
But one last thing, you have an amazing mustache. I look like I was on a desert island for a little bit. What grooming tips would you give me to kind of clean this up a little bit?
I'm just gonna go ahead and say you can't overcome your gene pool. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh. A dagger. And then one last thing, just for somebody as an independent guide. I'm gonna be going into my 7th season, so
nice.
Younger, still a lot to learn. What advice would you give somebody, to meet like me, moving forward in the fly fishing world that we all love?
Honestly, just don't take yourself too seriously.
Too late.
I figured the way we opened this up that it was over.
Yeah. Hopeless. Can't. My career is over. My gene pool sucks. You know what? This interview's over. We're done. I'm gonna take these books and throw them in the trap now.
That's where they belong.
Yeah.
I perforated the pages on this one for when you sit on the toilet. They rip out real easy.
Can I have this for my trip? I ran out of this. But no, I got to look through these. Mike was super generous. And you should check out these books. I love how technical you are in your descriptions. There's some amazing diagrams that break down your rigs. I can tell you're a big fan of the grid system.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like high level stuff, definitely check out Duane's books. And where can people purchase them?
It's Amazon. You can get the Fly Fisher's Playbook at Amazon, and Hidden in Plain View. This is my last one here. 2 years ago now, I think. So yeah, Hidden in Plain View. And then this was the original baby right here. Wow. I was a pup there. I think this book is 12 years old.
Young buck.
I was just a pup. So
awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Oh yeah, all mine. Thanks, brother.
All right. Thank you.
Wrap.
All right, we're out.
Keep it rolling. I have a question.
Oh wait. Let's. The huge fly fisherman's here. Oh.
Yeah, we're off camera question.
From the studio audience.
Yeah.
What is there anything behind why you don't guide out of a boat? That's why I'm asking it now, and you can always include it in there somehow.
For me personally,
Yeah.
I like the ability. We talked about the grid system.
Yeah.
I like the ability to start in a run, read the heck out of it,
Dissect it out.
pick it apart.
Yeah.
And then adjust to the run as we go.
Yeah.
Adjust the fish, where they call them up, how they move. Yeah.
And so you want to pick apart one spot, and with a boat, it doesn't really allow that. Because you're just mostly breezing through.
Oh man.
Yeah, and you could stop at one spot, but that's
You could.
not really the same. Okay, so you just want to fish.
I just want to fish it hard, and the thing is, I'm not going to rake it. If I'm I'll pick up a fish in the tail out, and then I'll move up to the glide, pick up a fish in there with clients, and then
You
move
want
into
to
the
figure
intercept.
it out.
I just want to figure it out. It's the chess match. It's that whole fly fishing formula.
If there is a fish in front of you and you can't catch it, are you going to change your flies and tactics? Or are you going to move and find a fish that will?
I don't waste a lot of time on. I'll watch the fish. If it's feeding, I better catch it. If I'm not catching it, then I'm going to change depth and weight first, and then I'll change my angle.
You would change something before moving to a different spot or fish.
More than likely.
Is what I'm.
More than likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 All right.
So I thank you, because that was I can't believe I spaced on that. We just had so much synergy.
We're still going here.
I was wondering. Yeah, I could probably.
This has been really freaking awesome, by the way.
Oh, wow.
This has been fantastic. I love it. This is awesome.
guidelines.
Go ahead.
No, but I'm with you, man. Like, That's why I like Euro, is because I know what my rig's doing. I know what the sighter's telling me. I know how my flies are dropping through the column. I can visualize the speed at which they're falling, and I can rip that thing to piece inch by inch. So I've never really been able to break down a grid. I like to fish. I fish like lanes or like a W.
Yeah.
So I'll go like 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, and then I'll back out, take one step, 6 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches.
Same basic idea. Yeah. And I look at this. This changed my fishing career when I finally figured out this is a formula. You know, it's everything. It's a science. It's physics. It's biology. You know, it's hydrology. It's all the ologies. The art in fly fishing is landing those fish because it's live object. You know, you're dancing.
Right.
There's organicness to it, and no matter how much you break it down to a science and a system, there's always random shit that can go wrong.
That's the beauty
because it's
of
a
it.
wild thing,
That's
and
it.
there's so many dynamic parts.
Well, it's like, you know, you guys, I'm on the river 2 days before you, 3 days before you. There's suedobaeus everywhere. You get on the river and it's like crickets. It's like, where the heck they go?
Yeah. You should have been here yesterday.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was talking about that formula, it changed me when I started thinking, okay, I got to find the depth of the feeding fish.
Yes.
That was one thing I learned right off is stop messing with the fish in our feeding. The
Right.
depth of the feeding fish.
Just because you can see them doesn't mean that
Yeah,
that's
you know,
that's a real good target to
fish
go
is-
to.
Yeah, the bottom of that 8-foot pool.
Yeah.
It's not feeding.
Right. See how it's
It's-
just stuck there not moving?
Yeah, it's like pouting because it just got caught off
And then
the
there's
shell.
another fish that's like,
Yeah. So fish to feeding fish. And so calculate the speed of the water, the depth of the feeding fish, and the rate of sink.
Yeah.
It's easy if you think about it, because it's either, I hate to say this, but it's either eat it or wear it. It's coming at you. Now, I'm not a proponent of foul hook and fish.
No, but it's going to come in your face.
Yeah, we got to get it right there, especially when you're fishing those doggone tailwater fish that are persnickety as heck. They've been caught 4 times already today
that
by the
morning.
time you get there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like on the wand, like that's probably one of the biggest things. Like when we chirp to each other, like when I talk to one of my buddies, like if he's crushing it, the most important thing he can tell me isn't what he's fishing. It's his depth and weight combo.
Right.
Because those fish get so column locked, and I mean, there's 12,000 fish a mile. They do this. They don't have to move.
No. Except to get out of the way of your bug that's going too fast.
Right.
Or your split shot.
Yeah, we fish like
Yeah.
super, like, you know, I fish really, really light. And especially too, I mean, the wand's pretty much the same every day. In the morning, there's not a lot of bug activity. The fish are deep, they're eating larvae, they could be on scuds, but they're slow. Then the midges, it warms up, midge hatch blows up, now fish are suspended, they'll start to stratify. And it's like, are you gonna have better luck on the fish midging under the surface? You're suspended 2 feet down. And that's, it's the chest. And then that's why I love the wand, because you can do whatever you want every day. Dries, cool. Midging, cool. Streamers, Euro.
And you have controlled conditions to try and it out too.
Yeah, there's not as much of a wild card as like the Gunnison where you're.
Oh, the eagle. I mean, the eagle is
Freestone.
Freestone.
Yes.
So it's different every time.
I mean, I've seen
you
it
go.
gain
Yeah.
15, 17 degree water temps in a day.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and you it just blows up.
Right.
You know, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Except, you know, stay and do battle.
Yeah,
Stay and do battle.
and those the fisheries that I'm more used to is the freestones.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot more dynamic.
Yeah, my fly boxes exploded
Yeah.
when I went from guiding on the South Platte tailwater
Right.
to coming over to the Vail Valley and fishing that freestone. You know, I used to carry a puck. Could get
Yeah.
me through a day. You know,
It's
boom,
the
boom,
same
boom.
shit every time.
Yeah,
Right.
3 flies.
Yeah.
And then the thing that changed, you know, as winter approaches, the bugs get smaller, and you might change to purples and browns, and you know.
Right.
And
Do you
then-
fish the Colorado much? Upstream from I-70, between like pump. Do you float at all? Do you have a boat?
when Mike's rowing.
Okay.
My.
You've never had a boat?
I've got an 8-foot pontoon that I've been known to take down the river and mess with. But
Do you fish for anything besides trout?
oh yeah,
You're out. You're after
Yeah,
I'll go
carp,
after
everything.
Yeah,
Cool.
I love carp fishing.
Yeah, right on. That's the answer I was looking for.
No, I mean it's
Yeah.
the best.
And there's
it's
gotta
like
be good
poor
carp
man's
fishing around
bonefish
here,
right
man.
there.
I mean,
There's some
gotta be tons of
great
it.
carp fishing around
Yeah,
here.
I believe it.
Trout anglers are so monolithic. It's like, you know, there's other like
That's not the word you're looking for,
or
but
trout are a monolith.
Because you're
okay.
Right.
Well, maybe that is the word you're looking for.
Well, like I just,
I didn't understand the word anyway. so.
yeah, his audience is not going to understand monolithic.
I'll dumb it down. Like, you got to think
a
trout
big-
side the box.
A big rock
Oh
is a
my
monolith.
All right, I thought a monolith is like. All right, well, that's why I'm a fishing guy.
You are using it wrong.
Isn't that a dude that walks with a limp?
Yeah, fishing guy?
No, a monolimp.
I'm not sure.